Hello and welcome to Airline Profits Executive Interviews. I am Kofi Sonopon, Managing Editor of Airline Profits Magazine and author of the recent book series on airline business and technology, namely Airlines for Business and Airlines for Technology. Today, we have the privilege to talk with René Armas Maes, an international aviation consultant and managing director of JetLink International LLC, which is an aviation consultancy firm. René, welcome back to Airline Profits Executive Interviews. It's always a pleasure to have you here. So we're going to go through some questions about basic economy fare, which is a new trend in the industry. So the first question I would like to ask you is, what are basic economic fares, or BEF for short?
Thank you for the opportunity, Coffee. I'm pleased to be here as well. So, in a nutshell, basic economy fares are part of a broader revenue strategy in an already depressed global passenger yield environment that allows airlines to further segment their cabins and optimize revenues per passengers. For network carriers, it is a strategy that improves its ability to compete head-to-head with ultra-low-cost carriers and low-cost carriers as well. Furthermore, basic economic fares target cost-conscious customers, and it is an interesting way of increasing competitiveness through an enhanced market segmentation philosophy. Moreover, basic economic fares allow network carriers to craft tactical upsell strategies based on its ability to offer more choices and comfort benefits to passengers. For example, an upgrade to standard cabin product that will ultimately assist to maximize route profitability. To put it in a nutshell again, essentially, and among other ticket restriction policies, passengers buying this type of fares are only allowed to take a small personal item on board with them. One typically that will fit under the seat. Therefore, there are no carry-on bags allowed unless you pay for it as an extra. Passengers as well flying under this type of fare are only allowed to board the aircraft last. They are also allowed only to receive their seat assignment prior to boarding, which might translate that a group of passengers or even a family might not be seated together. This is obviously a concern for many families flying with minors.
Of course.
As well, these type of passengers buying these fares are not eligible for upgrades of any kind. And finally, they are unable to make any changes to their tickets.
I see. Now, when given a clear choice by a network carrier to upgrade to the next fare level, let's call it standard main cabin product, that includes additional benefits such as carry-on allowance, seat assignment privileges, and upgrades. What's the conversion rate from BEFs to a standard main cabin product by a network carrier?
Typically, what we have seen and what I have on the research that I have done and the press releases that I have read as well for a number of carriers. For example, United has commented that their conversion rate runs between 60 to 70% of its passengers that have chosen to select the standard main cabin product over basic economy fares when given a clear choice and a clear communication strategy and campaign has been executed by the airline.
I see. Now,
on the other hand, you'll see airlines like American Airlines. Basically, they have commented that 50% of their 50% of their customers are buying up to standard main cabin fare product. In addition, American Airlines is currently testing a fixed differential of between 20 to 23 US dollars
okay.
between their basic economy fares that don't allow any carry-on bags, and it's a standard economy cabin fare product that includes, among others, a free carry-on bag. For
Okay.
United Airlines, the differential between these two types of fare is between $15 to $25.
Okay.
On the same hand, what is key for network carriers is to strategically push an upsell strategy that includes clear messages regarding what the benefits for each fare class product category are, and what is the enhanced travel experience will provide you. For example, if a passenger buys a standard cabin product, we'll observe as well that even before passengers click on the lowest fare product, which is the basic economy fare product, network carriers will try to upsell a standard main cabin fare product by different means,
Okay.
even including questions such as, are you sure, on their website,
Okay.
before you even click the basic economy fare. This is a must for network carriers, and it's a very important upsell strategy to optimize revenue. Finally, you can observe as well, United and American Airlines have claimed basic economy fare product segmentation for them is believed to mean around $1 billion in profit per year. Therefore, one can observe why many network carriers are testing and rolling out this type of low fares with no extra benefits.
Okay. So really, any indications of what this new type of fares is worth for an airline would be like they will make extra $1 billion. Is that it?
Correct. That's basically what United and American Airlines has expressed in their Investors Days presentations.
Okay.
So one can really see, there is a lot of, extra money to be made, especially in the markets that they compete head-to-head with ultra-low-cost carriers or even low-cost carriers.
I see. Now, René, can you explain how network carriers react when, let's say, an ultra-low-cost or low-cost airline enters the market with a BEF product strategy? Do they match the lowest fare provided by the ultra-low-cost carrier? Or can you provide some examples of how network carriers respond to this potential revenue leakage threat?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, when an ultra-low-cost carrier competes with a network carrier in a specific market, a basic economy fare product will allow network carriers to basically match the low fare provided by the ultra-low-cost carriers.
Okay.
The focus for the network carrier is to compete and develop a sell-off strategy that through many benefit offers will deter its passengers to buy down to a lower fare product.
Okay.
Moreover, a network carrier should look at what price points that ultra-low-cost carrier is selling its products, for example, for its first carry-on bag. Then basically what they will do, they will price their fare as a bundle offering few dollars lower, maybe even $2 to $10 less than the ultra-low-cost carrier with a basic economy fare product, plus the one carry-on bag at the price that is just being given. Consequently, set discount will position the network carrier to compete effectively vis-a-vis the ultra-low-cost carrier. Another good example into this is route frequency, which is an important factor as well.
Okay.
If a network carrier provides, let's say, 20 daily frequencies, and an ultra-low-cost carrier provides, let's say, 4 frequencies, there is no need to offer a basic economy fare product outside where the two airlines compete head-to-head. In addition, another important factor is as well as route scheduling. For example, if a network carrier leaves 15 minutes before the ultra-low-cost carrier's departure time, there might be no need for the network carrier to offer a lower fare product, as it is already better positioned in terms of competitive scheduling that is rival based on something that is called in the airline business as a quality service index factor.
I see.
The the other way that is true as well is that if you don't have a neutral low-cost carriers competing in the same market, and this market is only served by network carriers with similar products and price point strategies, the need to launch a basic economy fare product might only serve to dilute revenues. Only, and in the very unlikely event that a network carrier decides to launch such a lower fare product when it's competed against other network carriers, the strategy among those network carriers will be one where no basically economy fare product is offered in order not to disrupt higher yield fare products and to protect and maximize revenue. So you see it from the both sides. If you have a network carrier competing vis-a-vis a neutral low-cost carrier, then there is a different strategy that you have to apply. But if you are in a market where you don't have ultra low-cost carriers offering basic economy fare, you should not be disrupting the market, and you should be aiming to protect and maximize revenue. Therefore, no basic economy fare product should be introduced in that market.
I see. Now, basic economic fares or BEFs are available by, let's say, the major network carriers in the U.S. market. Do you see any such trend on the international level in international markets? Do you see that trend as well?
Yes, totally. I mean, basically, economic fares are increasing common in not only the U.S. Today, they are being tested outside the U.S. market, for example, to Canada by American Airlines. And even they are being rolled out in selected transatlantic markets, especially when one or more long-haul low-cost carriers are present, or when a network carrier offers such low-fare products with limited seat inventory. So it's a major airline industry trend, not only being applied today in the U.S. market because that's a pretty mature market, but it's coming as well to the international market, especially the transatlantic market, because you have a lot of long-haul low-cost competitors such as Norwegian Air, Wall Air, Air Europa, and some other ones.
Okay. Now, regarding BEF product offering in the long-haul market, can you comment on what the airline and market strategies are? What developments are being observed today? Can you share something on that?
Yeah. In fact, it is believed that the strategy of unbundling a carrier product and creating sell-up opportunities is something that will work in more markets than just in the U.S. domestic one, as mentioned before.
Okay.
It is important to remember as well that in the long-haul transatlantic market, competitors led by discounter carriers, these long-haul low-cost carriers, has been increasing capacity at a rate between 6 to 10% per quarter this year alone. That's a lot of extra seats and capacity put into the market that needs to be filled at potentially very low yields, very low fares in order to attract passengers. So this is obviously a main concern. Moreover, a number of airlines believe revenues are being diluted in a number of transatlantic markets, which is a profitability concern, as it is considered a high yield. This market, the transatlantic market, is considered as a high yield lucrative and basically airlines' bread and butter market, especially for network carriers. So today, what you have both network and long-haul low-cost carriers fighting for transatlantic cost-conscious customers. One example is Wall Air. I mean, they have introduced fares, $69 USD one-way fares from many U.S. cities to popular European destinations. All flights basically will include a layover at Wall's home base, which is in Iceland. And obviously, there is only a limited seats capacity of less than, I believe, 2,000 seats are expected to be offered at this incredible price. Another example that we can observe this time for a network carrier is basically Aer Lingus.
Okay.
It has priced its one-way transatlantic fares at $47 US, and they come like comparable basic economy fare products roll out in the domestic market of the United with many restrictions. Some of these restrictions are basically limited seat availability and extra cost for items such as, paying for extra items such as advanced seat selection, blankets, headphones, and even check bag. I mean, this is clearly a competitive reaction to a number of long-haul low-cost carriers that have dumped capacity at very low passenger yields in the transatlantic market.
I see.
Another comment on this is that basically in addition as well, very recently, at least one U.S. major network carrier commented that is observing a weak pricing environment in its transatlantic coach cabin.
Okay.
This is, again, due to the long-haul low-cost competitors such as Air Europe, Norwegian Air, and Wall Air that are operating between the United States and Europe using a combination of basic economy fare product strategy and other discounted and bundles offerings. Okay. Therefore, an important revenue leakage threat is very real for network carriers flying transatlantic routes these days. And in fact, at least one U.S. network carrier is considering low-frills transatlantic tickets as soon as first quarter of 2018 because a number of passengers now fly with their competition, these long-haul low-cost carriers. Another case is in case these U.S. network carriers decide to go forward with a basic economy fare product, this is expected it won't replicate the basic economy fare product strategy they currently sell on many domestic U.S. markets, especially to compete head-to-head with the ultra-low-cost carriers. This is due to the fact that a long-haul customer, which is defined as a 6+ hour flight customer, expectations differ from a short to medium haul passenger, which is basically defined as passengers that fly between 1 hour to 5 hour flights. In the former, we're talking about in the long-haul customer, seat assignment, 1 or 2 check bags, food, drinks are expected to be included in the price of the ticket. In the later, from the short to the medium haul type of flights, they are not. The good news for a network carrier flying transatlantic services with a multi-cabin product offering typically 3 to 4 main cabin products, which is the case of Lufthansa, is that low coach fare disruption can be offset by a potentially strong demand for premium traffic, which is observed today in many dense transatlantic markets. So these premium cabin revenues can account for close to even 50% or more of a transatlantic flight revenue.
Wow.
The same can be said for a long-haul, low-cost carrier with a 2-cabin product offering, typically business class and economy class, as they will be in a better position to derive premium revenues and even subsidize, which is an important thing to say, lower fare products such as the basic economy fare.
I see.
Basically, to wrap up this question, is that finally in the long-haul arena, and whether to offer a basic economy fare product or not, one needs to consider competitors' offering and positioning at market-by-market level. There has to be a clear understanding of passenger profiles, cabin configuration, product offering. Is it going to be a bundle offering, unbundled offering, and obviously a clear market segmentation strategy to remain price competitive and ultimately to maximize route revenues.
So what you're saying is basically this cannot be like a one-size-fits-all approach.
Correct. I mean, it depends who is in the market, how much capacity they are putting in the market, what kind of products they are introducing to the market. Is this a bundle offering? Is this an unbundling offering? You need to look into cabin configuration as well. Are you going to have one single cabin, or most likely what you see today in the long-haul, low-cost flights, you see the carriers flying 2 cabin products to basically being able to derive some important premium revenues from the premium class cabin.
Okay. Now, it was reported in the news as of late September 2017, obviously, that United Airlines has decided to pull back on BEF in selected U.S. Domestic market. Can you explain why?
That was a bit shocking as well, hearing that United has decided to pull back on these basic economy fares.
Absolutely.
As commented by them in a number of press releases, pullback is in response to competitors' slower than expected rollout of comparable products. This really does not make any much sense. As we know, American Airlines has rolled out similar basic economy fare products throughout its domestic network.
Yep.
And Delta Airlines is doing the same with a different strategy and a differentiated product. Basically, what Delta Airlines is doing, they are providing these basic economy fares, but they are allowing people to bring one piece of carry-on back, which is a nice strategy and a nice differentiator as well. In my opinion, and due to continued passenger dissatisfaction, United is now rethinking and refining its approach to basic economy fares.
Okay.
Accordingly, it is believed United plans to scale back on basic economy fare products is going to be to selected portion of its domestic network, releasing more routes to traditionally main carrying products and price.
Okay.
In addition, this pullback seems related to operational issues, potentially some poor communication and educational campaigns as well.
I see.
Based on our research, it seems United Airlines boarding process has, at many gates, has become more complicated and tense with the introduction of the basic economy fare products. It strictly limits passengers to one bag that must fit under the seat, meaning that there is no allowance for carry-on bags unless you want to pay for those. In addition, basic economy fare passengers are also assigned seats only when they arrive at the airport or even at the gate, and that means that based on aircraft loads, that a group of people, including families with children, might not sit together. This is obviously an issue for some of these group and families. Moreover, it seems a number of backpackers, which is that segment that is especially cost-conscious, and especially bought those tickets because of that, they were the lowest fare product available, showed up at the airport counters with no extra money to pay for carry-on charges, which shows a lack of understanding, basically, on those passengers that bought that type of fare, but as well, it seems to be a purely communicated strategy of the basic economy fare products restrictions by United Airlines in this case.
Okay.
Concerning on the type of benefits that they were entitled to. And then, obviously, they were those that they didn't know as a basic economy fare customers that they are the last group that will be boarding the plane. So all these basically are believed to have caused a number of issues for the airline. Many customers complained, and those complaints escalated very rapidly. I mean, you see it on social media, you see it in other forums.
Everywhere, yes.
And that was basically a concern. In addition, remember that United Airlines has been recently in the eyes of many customers and in the media, especially as a passenger was dragged for one of its aircraft a few months ago.
Exactly.
Finally, one has to remember as well that for anything that you do, the go-to-market strategy has to be really crafted for new products, especially for this one, which is the basic economy fare one, which is a low-fare product with plenty of restrictions and limitations. Therefore, it needs to be clearly communicated to customers and employees alike. It has to be an employee training. It has to be a buy-in from the employees. That strategy should be well executed, and processes that are clearly defined should be implemented for a smooth entry to market phase.
Okay. Now, would you say then that this was kind of introduced? They were not necessarily well prepared to introduce that, but they were kind of in a hurry just to copy-paste whatever Delta decided to do. Is that a fair comment to make or not?
This is my belief. Remember that United Airlines has said that these type of fares, basic economy fares, could represent to them $1 billion in profit per year. So, basically talking about a product that is going to increase top line, $1 billion, which is a lot of money for an airline anywhere in the world. And then basically, pulling back at least to selected markets, they have basically decreased from a number of markets where they were competing head-to-head with ultra-low-cost and low-cost carriers. So it seems to be more like an internal issue that they need to resolve in order to basically, pull back a bit to basically improve, the internal communications, making sure that, there is a good strategy being done by the American Airlines to basically educate the customers that 24 hours before the flight, they will send an email, a text, or they will get in contact with them, and basically they will reaffirm those passengers, basic economy fare passengers, what are the restrictions and what are the obligations of the fare they purchase. So basically, they are trying to reinforce the message, you can do this and this and that, and you won't be able to do this and that. And I haven't seen that from United Airlines. Likewise, if you go to American Airlines website, you see that they have a more robust communication on the website explaining the type of benefits and fares. And United also has some, but has it more as a Q&A. So I think they potentially rush into this. The internal communication, PR, and all the strategies were not really, well thought out. And then it's that some of their employees, United Airlines employees, advocates, even the flight attendants, they were having some questions as well. So they think that a more through training, is needed as well. But I believe they're going to come back because there is a lot of value into this. And if you see today, the market is really revenue depressed in terms of, what airlines are able to get from passengers because fares have been decreasing, over the last 10 years.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure they're going to come back, and do something, to make sure that they can take advantage of this type of products and basically this enhance passenger segmentation.
Exactly, and if I may add something to that, it's not just the fare price that is actually dropping; it's also the perceived value of the service that is dropping from a customer perspective.
If somebody buys a basic economy fare, basically the airline is telling you that I will transport you from point A to B and nothing else.
Exactly.
You will have to pay. You will have to pay for meals. If you want to, have some kind of priority security checks, then you will have to pay for that. If you bring a carry-on bag, you will have to pay for that. So basically, it's part of an enhanced segmentation, and people is paying for whatever they're using.
Yeah. Very good. Now, can you share any final thoughts on basic economy fares before we conclude this interview?
Yes, the whole idea, the way network carriers are pitching these, as they really don't want passengers to purchase this type of fares. They have deliberately designed them to be punitive for the customers, as they want passengers, when given a clear choice and extra benefits and a good communication campaign is in place, to basically to buy up to the next fare level or their main cabin fare product.
I see.
You see as well that a number of carriers, including low-cost carriers such as Southwest Airlines, differentiate its product and offer better value to customer at the same price as those that are offering today basic economy fare products. In addition, they allow customers, Southwest Airlines allow customers to bring a carry-on bag onto the plane at no extra cost. Same like Delta Airlines is doing. They are offering that more value with their basic economy fare products because they are allowing as well a passenger to bring a carry-on bag at no extra cost. And this is done in the case for Southwest and Delta Airlines. It is done even regardless if there is an ultra low cost competitor in the routes they operate on. So this is a nice add-on, and this is a nice way to differentiate as well. So basically, to conclude and to protect revenues, yield managing these basic economy fare products and seat inventory that you put into the market are key to minimize the main cabin revenue leakage. Although many network carriers say they will offer the new lower price fare everywhere, even in transatlantic markets, focused revenue management technique should restrict their availability depending on local competition, market-specific competition, profile segmentation, and seat availability. For example, on the later, making basic economy fare products unavailable within 3 to 4 weeks of departure date. Those are the final comments.
Very good. Thank you very much, René. It's been a pleasure talking to you again on Airline Profits executive interviews, and I wish you have a great day. We'll talk next time.
Thank you for the opportunity, Kofi, and good luck.
Thank you. This concludes my interview with René Armas Maes, International Aviation Consultant and Managing Director of JetLink International LLC. We hope to speak to René again sometime in the near future and see what he's up to. In the meantime, if you have not done so yet, I invite you to read René's contribution to Airline Profits magazine, and you'll find a link to this article below. For you, I am Kofi Sonopwan, Managing Editor of Airline Profits magazine and author of the recent book series on airline business and technology, namely Airlines for Business and Airlines for Technology. And I would like to thank you for listening to this interview. We hope that you found that interesting and informative. We also hope that you will stay tuned for future Airline Profits executive interviews, since we have a few more coming up over the next few weeks. In the meantime, if you have not done so yet, I would invite you to subscribe to our RSS feed at airlineprofits.com and to our YouTube channel. You can also like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter and Google+. Moreover, we have relaunched Airline Profits Headlines Today, our daily newsletter, which keeps you updated on the latest aviation industry news worldwide. And you can sign up to get that delivered directly to your inbox. Alternately, you may consider Airline Profits Regional Digest, our weekly news digest that brings you region-specific headlines for the past week. Once again, many thanks for listening to Airline Profits executive interview, and I wish you have a great day.